Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke, together with Reverend Yutaka Yamada. Today is Friday, the 25th of July, 2025, and the 1st of June of the 13th year of Chongyalguk. And you may think, oh, we already did June, but in our Chongyalguk calendar, we repeat June. So it's again the 1st of June. So thank you, everyone, for coming. And let's begin with our bow to our true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Chanji Champumnimge Chombe Paro. And let's recite our family pledge both in Korean and English.
하전맨세 5. 전극주인 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 전산세계와 대산적 지산세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 5. Our family, the owner of Chongyalguk, pledges to strive every day to advance the unification of the spirit world and the physical world as subject and object partners by centering on true love. Thank you. I'd like to share Mother's prayer again that she gave at the Death Valley Holy Ground. Beloved Heavenly Parent, today in Nevada's Death Valley, the lowest place in this continent, we feel the touch of the Creator, our Heavenly Parent. You knew that for life to circulate and reproduce according to the principles of creation, salt is absolutely necessary, and you generously provided it to both humans and the animal world. What a tremendous and grateful thing this is. However, humanity has lost the essence of the Creator and also lost its own essence. Amidst this, you have endured so much while waiting and carrying out the providence to save fallen humanity. After a long wait in 1960, you sent the true parents. Through them, many true families have been established who can come closer to heaven. But when we think of the 8 billion people in the world who still do not know you, the Heavenly Parent, we realize how minuscule that number is. Heavenly Parent, in this year of the Blue Dragon, the 12th year of Chongyalguk, your children are ready to expand the heavenly providence. Their efforts will enable leaders from over 200 countries to lead lives akin to salt, becoming role models for humanity and drawing closer to you, our Creator and Heavenly Parent. With more blessed families in Chongyalguk and the Chombo families, people capable of fulfilling these salt-like responsibilities will emerge in every corner of the world. Through these righteous people, nations that serve the Heavenly Parent will be established, and if this time can be advanced to be realized in 2024, we desire to embrace the day that leads us towards the Chongwon-gun entrance ceremony in 2025, where all of heaven will prepare to receive glory. This ceremony will be a feast of praise before you, Heavenly Parent, honoring your long-awaited patience. Heavenly Parent, today in this Death Valley, we, your children, the salt of the earth, desire to expand your realm through the efforts of those who respect heaven. May such righteous salt-like people arise abundantly in this continent, this country, and all over the world. Bless our efforts, Heavenly Parent. May this place foster the rebirth of humanity worldwide, and may this nation produce many righteous salt-like people remembered by heaven. We earnestly pray this in the name of true parents, Arju. Thank you. And let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Yutaka as he shares this morning.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining today's morning Hundoke. Today is Friday, so let's offer the sincere devotion to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. So thank you. I arrived to Manila yesterday safely, and also there is several meeting, continental meeting, and also the youth assembly. The things, Chaniku Youth Assembly in Asian Pacific, this will be happening soon. This is Sunday. So 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Manila time, there are pre-program and the main program, and even also another many festival or activity or many things centering on youth, and target number is around 1,500. But when I see here, almost 1 week, so strong typhoon and the raining. So I heard now this week from Monday, all office, government office and school are closed. So no office, no school are closed this week. And that's why we are a little bit worried. Even government doesn't work and also school stop. So this Sunday is the day after tomorrow. So really we have to pray and support until last minutes. How really youth can come together this place. And in the same time, there is encouragement to oversee the online gathering. So official program start from 10 a.m. Manila time is 12 noon Sydney time and 2 p.m. New Zealand time. So I know there are several activity or Sunday service in each country, but if you are available, please try to connect and at least support this program. So this is also coming soon, just the day after tomorrow. So let's support and offer the happiness to our heavenly parent and true parents. And there's one new memo. There was also new appointment of the national leader of Vanuatu. Did you receive this memo? So this time, one of the floor to change the national leaders in the world level, the Vanuatu leadership would be changed from Reverend Abel to Reverend Mansu Han. So thank you, Reverend Abel, to offer your investment for nation of Vanuatu. And now we will welcome the Reverend Mansu Han to the national leader of Vanuatu. So let's pray, support, and also congratulate our Reverend Mansu Han. So this is the new memo. So we will work together and also develop more and more. And today is Friday, so we will have a Chanshon prayer in this evening. Please join well. And also, there is a breakout session after Funoke, so we can also join together. So, right, many things is going on. Let's continuously offer and support and offer the Chanshon together. So thank you, brothers and sisters. So today, our content is saying, let's continue the epic history of chosen Han people of Korea. Chapter 9, a national and global foundation for birth of the only begotten daughter. So let's start. Sister Jinin.
The March the First movement and a religious foundation. The March the First movement, sometimes called the Mansei movement, was a movement led predominantly by religious figures, with significant leaders from various religions, including Christianity, Chondaegyong, and Buddhism, uniting to support the independence movement. The most prominent role was played by Chondaegyong, a native Korean religion, with leaders such as Song Byung-hui, Kwon Dong-jin, Oh Si-chung, and Cho Rin jointly taking the initiative. They agreed to use peaceful, non-violent protests as the method for the realization of the movement's objectives. They drafted documents such as the Declarations of Independence, petitions for independence, and demands for the return of national sovereignty. To expand this to a national movement, they decided to invite religious leaders from various faiths to join them, including Christian and Buddhist leaders and Confucian scholars.
Thank you. So now we are talking about independence movement. So last session also share about several movement or activities. And this part is also same. So during the independent movement time, many people involved together. So you could see the several persons' name, and also many religious figure also involved the independent movement. Please.
With Christian leaders such as Lee Song-hoon and Buddhist leaders such as Hung Yong-eun joining the Mansei movement, it became an interfaith collaboration, and churches became important bases for the movement's work. The independence movement, which began with the leadership of the indigenous Korean religions and continued with the participation of representatives of Christianity and Buddhism, generated nationwide fervor and became a focus of hope for national unity and reconciliation centered around faith leaders. The aspirations and dreams for peace of the Korean people accumulated through the unity and harmony of people of faith dedicated to serving Heavenly Parent, thus created a strong national foundation. Their yearning to fulfill the new vision of a permanent community of peace prepared the religious foundation necessary for the birth of the only begotten daughter.
Yes, thank you. So we could see that many people come together beyond own religious boundary and united for nation and for independence. So I can read this part. The aspirations and dreams for people, the Korean people, accumulated through the unity and harmony of people faith dedicated to serving Heavenly Parent, thus created a strong national foundation. They yearning to fulfill the new vision of a permanent community of peace, prepared the religious foundation necessary for the birth of the only begotten daughter. So during the time period, the many persecution or difficulty, but in the same time, those commitment, passion, or strong desire from the people gathered together and created those strong foundation. So this was really became the preparation to welcome the only begotten daughter. So this is the slide. The March 1st movement that proclaimed the national sovereignty independence. The independence activities proclaimed the Declaration of Independence based on the principle of national self-determination. Through the non-violent Mansei demonstrations, they announced Korean sovereign independence to the world, created the founding spirit of the Republic of Korea, Taehan, and established a national foundation for the birth of the only begotten daughter. So you could see at that time, spirit-led Christian internal foundation, independence movement, external foundation. Next chapter, we will study more. Also, this spirit-led Christian, again, this became the internal foundation, and in the same time, we can see that all people or nation of Korea also attended together. So spiritual or internal or religious side, plus also the citizen and also people side, wish to independent and to get the sovereignty as the nation of Korea. So those flow or those movement was happen at the day of the March 1st, 1919. So we can see the March 1st movement and the religious foundation. The March 1st movement was a mobilization in which religious leaders from various faith, Christianity, Chondogyo is also we studied last time, Chondogyo and Buddhism, and participated with the united religion contributing significantly to the independence movement. Christianity, Buddhist, Chondogyo. Chondogyo is some indigenous religion in the Korean Peninsula. So those things are united, cooperated, and to join this the independent movement. So the representative of Cheondogyo, So Byung-hui, Kwang Dong-jin, Oh Se-chang, and Che Rin, I think. So those persons joined together. And also Christian missionary Lee Sung-hoon and Cheondogyo key leader Han Yong-un. So the leaders participated in the Mansei movement, with the churches becoming strongholds of the independence movement, showing hope for national unity. So during that moment, for nation of Korea, of protecting or independent or establish the own nation, they gathered together, support and cooperated together beyond own denomination or religion, and fought for that time as Japanese government and try to independent. So through the things created the beautiful, great foundation for only begotten daughter, and of course second advent of the Messiah. So we can see how we can gather the people and unite together when we face the difficulty or when we see some God's will. Those kind of the strong spirit can change and can make the atmosphere and even also the flow of the society. So we can learn also the independent leaders at that moment. Please.
The Korea's provincial government. As a result of the March the 1st movement, a provincial government of the Republic of Korea, Daehanminguk Imshi Jongbu, was established on April the 11th, 1919, in Shanghai, China. This was a quarter of a century before Korea gained its independence from Japan. As Korea's first democratic republican government, this government in exile prepared for independence through resistance activities and diplomatic efforts to gain international recognition for their country as an independent nation. On March the 1st, 1942, the provincial government of the Republic of Korea officially requested recognition from the United States, the United Kingdom, the Soviet Union, and China. The first to respond was the Republic of China, which granted formal recognition to the provincial government the following month. This was a crucial milestone in legitimizing the independence movement in the eyes of the international community and for Korea to gain recognition as a state. It also advanced the national foundation for the birth of the only begotten daughter.
Thank you. So after the declaration of independent movement, still it took time to independent officially, but the independent declaration movement at that moment in 1919, this was became the one of the starting moment of independent. Then they are continuously doing underground and to toward in 1942. So almost how many years? Around 23 years. So continuously those underground movement was going on, and 1942, the provisional government was recognized from several countries. Then going to the ending of the World War II. So establishment of provisional government of the Republic of Korea. On April 11, 1919, as a result of the 3 declarations of independence and the March 1st movement, the provisional government of the Republic of Korea was established in Shanghai. As Korea's first democratic republic, it conducted diplomatic activities to earn recognition of the right to independence. In 1942, the provisional government received official recognition from certain nations establishing the national foundation for the birth of the only begotten daughter. So 1942. Our true mother's birth was in 1943. So we could see those foundations were also established around that moment. April 10, 1919, national name Republic of Korea confirmed. April 11, 1919, provisional government, the Republic of Korea established. So the March 1st movement was in 1919. So after 1 month of that, those things was happened. Okay, please.
Through the establishment of the provisional government during the Japanese colonial period, the Korean people who had longed for independence clearly expressed their goal to build a democratic and free nation. The establishment of the provisional government gave hope to the Korean people who had lost their nation after the fall of the Joseon dynasty through annexation by Japan and fueled their struggle for independence. It also made a base for confirming their identity as a chosen people that heaven had prepared. The global recognition of the provisional government in 1942 solidified a national foundation for the birth of the only begotten daughter in 1943. It also formed the key foundation for the political system that established the Republic of Korea in 1948.
Thank you. So we could see this provisional government foundation became the foundation of nation of Korea. So Republic of Korea in 1948, this is the South Korea side, but this was connected to establish the nation of Korea. So originally this government should be the foundation for the government or nation, the United Nation of Korean Peninsula. But as we know, after World War II, there was some kind of a confusion period or some unclear period. And that time, North, the Soviet Union side, China side, America side, they are involving that the moment, then they are separated. The nation of Korea or people in the Korean Peninsula. So anyway, this became the foundation for establishing the nation of Republic of Korea. Okay, please.
A global foundation for Korea's independence. On January the 1st, 1942, during World War II, 26 Allied nations signed the Declaration by United Nations in Washington, D.C., a document that turned out to be instrumental in the creation of the United Nations. This declaration expressed their common goal to defeat the Axis powers and a willingness to cooperate in building a post-war peace order. It emphasized the importance of international cooperation and unity for peace and brought hope for the liberation and independence of colonized nations such as Korea. Subsequently, in 1943, after Italy, one of the Central Axis powers, surrendered to the Allies, the tide began to turn in favor of the Allied forces, seen as being on heaven's side. These developments nurtured the expectation of the people of Korea for their nation's independence.
Thank you. This is the movement in the global level. So during the World War II, in the world level, also there were many war conflict, and at that moment, there was the declaration to establish the United Nations. So we could see even world war divided, but in the same time, there was movement to unite beyond own authority or own power or own interest. How all nation can unite together, even small nation or bigger nation. Each nation has the same right or same authority or same value and should come together. So those preparation of the United Nations are going on, and later it was established. So we could see there was movement inside of Korea or Korean Peninsula, but at the time, in the same time, there was also movement in the global level, not only fighting, but also the movement to create the peace and unity. So you could see those movements. So Global Foundation for Korean Independence. On January 1, 1942, 26 Christian-centered nations signed the declaration by United Nations and helped formalize the Allied coalition. An external global foundation was established for human peace and prosperity and for the birth of the only begotten daughter. So you could see 26 nations. So those nations are joined together. So you could see our Oceania side, some nations are here, right? So Christian nation are main group to establish United Nations. That meaning is we could really recognize that purpose of United Nations are actually to welcome the only begotten daughter, second of the Messiah, and also our true parents. So those preparation and movement are going together at the same time. Okay, please.
The 1942 Declaration by United Nations originated from the necessity to overcome the global tragedy of war and to create a new order and system of peace through which humanity could build a better society based on the lessons learnt from wartime hardships. It recognized the need for a global alliance to protect peace and freedom worldwide, aimed at sustainable peace through the suppression of Nazism and fascism, and declared a common goal of peace and integration for all humanity. These worldwide aspirations for achieving a society of lasting peace through global cooperation created the global external foundation for the birth of the only begotten daughter.
Here, so we could see this was the preparation time period for peace and also to welcome our only begotten daughter. So it recognized the need for a global alliance to protect peace and freedom worldwide, aimed at sustainable peace through the suppression of Nazism and fascism, and declared a common goal of peace and integration for all humanity. So this was the foundation to welcome the birth of only begotten daughter. Please.
In April 1919, after the March the 1st movement ignited and the provincial government was established in Shanghai, women activists established the Korean Patriotic Women's Association of the provincial government, also in Shanghai. Although the provincial government weakened in the intervening years and was forced to relocate, in January 1943, about 50 female independence activists, most of whom were Christian, re-established the Korean Patriotic Women's Association. Through these international preparations, with the practical external foundation of the government in exile and the religious internal foundation of these Christian women, Heavenly Parent prepared for the coming of the only begotten daughter.
Yes. So after 1919, March 1st movement, not only just movement of establishing the provisional government, but also the women's gathering or movement were established, especially after 1943, ending moment of the World War II. So there was those problems. So Global Foundation for Korean Independence. In 1943, the Korean Patriotic Women's Association of the Shanghai Provisional Government was reorganized and augmenting augmenting the foundation for the advent of the only begotten daughter. So they emphasized supporting Korean independence, raising national consciousness, helping independence activities, and highlighting the social role of women. So not only male figure, also the female figure are standing and joined together. Please.
The division of Korea and the Korean War. With the Allied powers' victory in World War II in 1945, Korea was finally liberated from Japanese colonial rule and gained its independence. Yet as Japan surrendered and withdrew, United States and Soviet forces remained on the Korean peninsula in the south and north, respectively. The demarcation line between the Soviet and American occupation zones, intended to be temporary, was drawn up near the 38th parallel. The December 1945 Moscow Conference of Foreign Ministers sought to establish a trusteeship to guide Korea toward independence. But growing Cold War tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union prevented this from succeeding and led to a formalizing of the divide. Despite efforts by national leaders such as Kim Gu to establish a unified government, separate governments were finally established in the northern and southern areas, resulting in the peninsula's division into two separate nations, the Republic of Korea, South Korea, and the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, North Korea.
Thank you. So we could see the independence movement or those declaration was also happened in 1919 and also 1942. Those the people's movement, provisional government movement are there, and also the gathering or spirit of people gathered together for willingness of independence. So under those things, the World War II was finally ended. Then it was having the new start. But how was the process and how was the result of that moment? 1945, finally, World War II was ended, and we can say it could be said that was the new beginning of the nation of Korea, even the world level. So how this nation of Korea or Korean Han people welcome the only begotten daughter or second Adamant Messiah. So those internal providence were going on. So we could see 1945 to 1948, this 3 years time period, providentially, internally, that time was so important time. And of course, externally, we could see, even they are liberated from the Japanese occupation, but immediately there's two power from North side or the Soviet Union side and also America side. Those power are coming together, that the Korean Peninsula. So we could see that was the history after World War II. Then what's happened in the end? It was divided into two countries. So result is in the Peninsula's division into two separate nations happened. So the Republic of Korea, South Korea, and the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, North Korea. So the South Korea name is Republic of Korea, is the Taehan Minguk. You can see Taehan is Great Han. Minguk is the Republic. Minguk is the nation of people's nation. So Great Han, people's nation. Then how about the North Korea side? Democratic People's Republic of Korea is 조선 민주주의 인민공화국. 조선 민주주의 인민공화국. So that meaning is similar, but they are using the word in Korea. You can see north side and south side using Korea and Korea, but South Korea side Taehan is Great Han, but North Korea side they are using Choson. So the word of Han was actually used in the South Korea side name. Even putting the in English, they are using both same Korea and Korea, but in word of Korean, one south side is Taehan, Great Han, and north side is Choson. So we can see those differences. Please. Stajinin?
Sorry. In June 1950, North Korea under Kim Il-sung invaded South Korea, aiming to communize the entire Korean peninsula. This was the outbreak of the Korean War. Within 3 days, North Korean forces captured Seoul and advanced rapidly southward. In response, South Korean President Ri Sigmund requested support from the United States, which led to the intervention of UN forces. In August, the South Korean Army and UN forces established a defensive line at the Nakdong River in the southern provinces of South Korea and succeeded in halting North Korea's advance into the major southern cities of Daegu and Busan. Then on September the 15th, more than 70,000 UN troops carried by 230 naval vessels landed at Incheon, recaptured Seoul, and forced the North Koreans to retreat back across the 38th parallel. South Korean and United Nations forces advanced north to Pyongyang and beyond, pushing on as far as Hungnam by October the 13th. However, when the People's Republic of China, 19, entered the war, the tide of the war turned once again, and the United Nations and South Korean forces had to retreat south. Intense fighting continued in the area around the 38th parallel until 1953, when a ceasefire came into effect with the signing of an armistice agreement.
So after independent or separated the government happened, there was Korean War in 1950. So it totally changed the nation of Korea, totally destroy our atmosphere. So at that moment, North Korea side totally come down until the end of the Korean peninsula. So southern part, you can see the Busan. So almost all people are occupied. That meaning is all area were under the North Korea at that time. Many people are killed. But after that, pushing up to the north side again and going to the China side, the near China border. So South Korea side also push them back again. So that time also all atmosphere has changed. So person who followed North Korea was maybe killed or something again. Then destroy many things. Then China side also coming down again. So those kind of the north side and south side, the battle line was totally moved to until until end of South Korea side, and also until the end of North Korea side. So it was happened. Then really many citizens were sacrificed or really died. So heaven side and Satan side until last minute, those fighting was happened. So the Korean War and the righteous participation of 16 UN nations. On August 15, 1945, Korea was liberated through the Allied powers' victory. But afterwards, North and South Korea became ideologically opposed. In 1950, the Korean War broke out due to North Korea's invasion, and 16 UN member states sent military support. Young people participated in the war to protect heavenly parents' nation and the only begotten daughter. So there was many history or even episode or story. So during that time, Trumada could escape from north side and south side, and Truffaut also could escape from the Funan prison to also on south side. So there are many things happened, and 16 nations. So always those nations are really some appreciated the important countries to help Australia, New Zealand, and several other countries. So this will be remained as history forever. So it was really happened, and everyone also appreciated those young military, the soldier from Australia, New Zealand, and 16 nations. So this is the final slide, please.
The Heavenly Parent worked to protect South Korea from an atheistic regime that denies the existence of Heavenly Parent, and to safeguard and nurture the only begotten daughter until the time came when she could make the decision to assume the position of the true mother. Young people from 16 UN member nations participated in the war, representing a global response. These righteous young soldiers shed their blood to protect Heavenly Parent's nation and the only begotten daughter.
Thank you. So we can see in the history of the providence of restoration, God continuously raised up and guided the people of Korea, but in the same time, not only inside of Korea, but also the global level of Heavenly Parent guided continuously, and finally centering on the Korean Peninsula, those movement gathering at the created foundation were happened. So even the birth of only begotten daughter or afterwards, continuously Heavenly Parent were staying together and also guiding together. So through learning the history, we can see many painfulness, but in the same time, also the involvement of Heavenly Parents, we could recognize those moments together. Okay, so today we share about the ending moment of the World War II, and also the beginning moment of welcoming the birth of our only begotten daughter. So we can study again, and we can find the heart of our Heavenly Parent, and also heart of our true mother, heart of our true father. So today is Friday. Let's continuously offer the sincere devotion and offer the victory to our Heavenly Parents and true parents. So thank you for joining today's morning, okay? Have a great time. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Rev Yutaka, for sharing with us. Yeah, it's a very interesting that time, and yeah, but as you mentioned, it's we have our breakout session. The three rooms, so just choose the room you wish. The first one for witnessing, the second for peace and security, and the third for PCLC. So the rooms are now open. So just join the room you wish. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I hope everyone could share. Sorry it gets cut. I know the short time was a bit shorter, but we thank you all. It's time now for us to offer our unison prayer. I'll just bring up the screen. Thank you, everyone. There it is. Okay, and let's pray together. Thank you. Jew, Jew, Jew. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Rev Yutaka, for sharing, and I hope everyone has a great day and see you all again tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good day, everyone.